Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here from YouTube, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about a very exciting NFT marketplace coming to Nervos Network. We're talking about Oblivion, so let's get into this. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. I have the CEO of Oblivion Marketplace, Easy. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for your time and willingness to tell us a little bit about Oblivion. So from my understanding, you have built this marketplace up on Binance Smart Chain, and you are also looking to deploy it on Nervos Network.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the marketplace, thanks for having me, by the way, and apologies I have 3 kids, so being in my house, it's going to be louder than it is here, so I'm working remotely.
No worries at all.
We started our marketplace on the BNB chain, or the Binance, used to be called the Binance Smart Chain, and the reason we did so is that we had a previous project called Rug Zombie that we still operate that project. It's still a live thing. But we were finding that the users of this project, we really wanted to have a marketplace for them. And as we were honestly assessing the landscape of marketplaces, we saw that decentralization was being talked about, but not really being executed in the way that we thought our users would like. On top of that, we noticed that there were a lot of things that just weren't available and provided for NFT marketplace users. And so we just decided to come up with our own solution. And once we launched on the BNB chain, we realized that, man, there's such a need for good marketplaces on not just the BNB chain, but multiple chains, especially chains like Nervos, up and coming. That's been around for a while, as you know. But with the recent launch of their layer 2, their mainnet for Godwell and that going live, there's a lot of upside for some of these smaller chains, and they need good marketplaces. So we hope to be that marketplace for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is definitely great to see other players enter the NFT scene, especially on these smaller chains like Nervos Network. Currently, they've got Collect, maybe another one. But, for that matter, it's good to have lots of different options and drive that friendly competition. Just looking at your markets, this looks like it's very user-friendly. The way you guys have this built out, we are looking at the Binance Smart Chain version, I guess. Or maybe will you be able to basically pay Binance Coin and Nervos Network Coin all on the same marketplace, or will you have to visit each different chain's marketplace to pay with their native tokens, or how does that work?
Yeah, so currently the way we have it set up is that we had deployed this on the testnet, and so we created its own endpoint, which was nervous.oblivion.art. So we created a separate endpoint for it. It just seemed cleaner and easier for people that are using the testnet to try and figure things out. But now that the mainnet is live, we do plan to resolve some of that and allow users to basically, once they select the chain that they're looking at, they'll be able to peruse the marketplace and purchase any of the NFTs. But one unique feature of the marketplace is that you can actually make an offer in any token that you choose, and it's up to the person listing the NFT to accept that bid. So theoretically, you could make an offer in BNB or BUSD, which is the stable coin on that chain. You can make an offer, and then it's up to the seller to determine which offer they'd like to accept. So we're going to bring the same functionality over to the Nervos Network as well, so that if you prefer, let's say you list it and people are making bids, they can bid in really any token that they want, and then you as the seller, you can determine which bid that you select. That's just one of the features that we're adding. We feel like that flexibility is really, really important.
That's awesome. Just having that feature just to make an offer really allows people to kind of close in on these close deals. Maybe meet more than 50, maybe meet more than halfway on some of these deals. It's just another way to extend that handshake to close these sales of NFTs. So that's a really cool feature. And I'm glad that you guys are incorporating that into it. Let's talk about the fees, because when I was talking to you before, you had mentioned that there's pretty low
Your
fees
stream,
associated with
the
this.
stream is being a little slow. I'm not quite catching what you're saying at this current moment.
Okay, sorry about that. So, talking about the fees, from what I understand, the fees of this marketplace are fairly low. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I can explain. It was still catching up. There's a lag, but I think you were asking about the fees.
Yep.
So I'm just going to assume the question here. We were looking at different marketplaces, and the standard fee that's taken. You're a marketplace. You've got to make money. So the standard fee that people usually take is around 2.5% of the sale. So on $100 NFT, you're making $2.02. It's not that much, but the aggregate of that can be pretty substantial. Well, we felt like that, as a marketplace, we're really an infrastructure that should be built to support long-term growth with lots of users. And we just set our fee structure very competitively because we just believe in our product. We believe that it's going to bring a lot of value to a lot of people. And so we actually structured our fees to be 1%. So across the board, it's lower than any other marketplace that you'll find. There are other marketplaces that can give you lower fees, but you have to hold their token, let's say, in order to uh, capture those fees. So there's kind of like a trade-off there. For us, we just said let's start at the lowest rung, say 1% across the board. Um, and on top of that, something we'll probably talk about here in a moment is that we do have some ways to earn additional discounts on trading fees. And uh, you can really get up to 50% off the existing fees, which means that you're paying 0.5%. On a $100 NFT, you're paying about 50 cents in the trade fee, which is really on the Nervos network, that's more than the gas fees. But on like the Binance chain, that's about what you're paying in gas. So it's pretty competitive, really low rate for a marketplace like ours.
That's awesome. I can tell you that, um, that is so cool to see that you guys have structured your, price points that low. Because one thing that I feel like, when we start talking about like OpenSea and stuff going on Ethereum, and we start talking like, when the market's banging, couple $100 gas fees just to send an NFT one way, the barrier of entry with that is so incredibly high that it really kind of weeds out any newcomers to the game. So I feel like having your prices structured the way they are really is going to help onboard a lot of people that might be apprehensive to buy something on, like, I
Yeah.
don't know, Ethereum or something, for example.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The high gas fees, what they do is, it's I love the Ethereum network.
Hmm.
Obviously, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to everything that is built there. But the gas fees alone prevent this. They're this huge obstacle to adoption of
Hmm.
NFTs, of cryptocurrency, of Web3. And if we really want to see the new wave of retail and mass adoption, it requires that we create infrastructure that's beneficial for people that would be onboarding now. So I can just tell you that my friends and family don't want to pay $300 just to buy something. They just
Hmm.
don't. And I know that we have this philosophy of like decentralization or this philosophy of self sovereignty. There's all these different philosophies that go into crypto, and those are good, and I believe all of those. At the same time, we have to be realistic about the next wave of users coming into the ecosystem. If it's really truly meant to be for all, then we have to find a way to do it. And for us, structuring our fees to be competitive is one way that we can help ease the burden and the transition for people jumping into jumping into this world. So, and I think OpenSea and others, what they do is they either reimburse gas fees or they do something. There's some marketplaces that do interesting things like that to
Hmm.
help the user out. And so I don't want to disparage them too greatly because for there might be things that I would improve or do differently, but they're also man, what a great win for the entire space to have marketplaces widely available on every chain.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. So yeah, so Oblivion is this place where you can not only list NFTs for sale, but it looks like you can possibly even mint NFTs on Oblivion, create listings, collections, releases, things of that nature. And
That's
it
right.
looks like it's pretty straightforward stuff when I, kind of start clicking through some of these, uh, channels to create an NFT. Um, so I just wanted to,
Yeah,
say how user friendly this looks. That's also another huge thing for people who are not familiar with like crypto buying and selling, creating NFTs, stuff
yeah,
like that. So I
yeah.
think you
We
guys did a great job,
think
really kind of keeping all that in mind. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, we know our experience is that there are a lot of project owners that are really, really excited about a potential idea that they have for a collection. Yet at the same time, they maybe don't have the technical expertise to fully deliver. And so what they do is they end up finding developers that create things that are like non-standard. So and the risks involved with that are pretty high unless you have a lot of trust in that person. You're trusting somebody else to handle all of the smart contract functionality, and you just got to hope that they're not going to scam you, rip you off, and then subsequently rip off others. And then on top of that, there's even among those developers, there's the only way to say it is the quality that you're getting. A lot of times, like if you look at the code bases, like it's it's alarming. It's alarming to me how many projects can launch without a really clear technical person on their team. And so we said,
mhm.
hey, if that's going to happen, what we should do is we should provide a no code solution for people that's standardized, that people can just kind of know what they're going to get, and it's user friendly and intuitive. So what you just saw on there, it's not the most, um, it doesn't have the most pizzazz, and like there's not like confetti and all the bells and whistles, but it's simple and straightforward, and it gets you exactly where you need to go. So the creating the NFT, yeah, you can anyone anywhere can go and create their own NFT contract. We don't charge anything for that. If you create an NFT, you're gonna pay the gas fee on that, and then really that's it.
Mhm.
So it'll create the NFT, and then after that, it'll guide you through the next steps, such as let's say you created the NFT and now you'd like to release it to the world in a set of like 1,000, for example. Um, you could do a set of 1,000, or you could do 20, or you could do a one of these. So we've created the functionality there for you to essentially create an NFT however you'd like, but with a user friendly interface.
Yeah, and very much so. That's one of the draws I immediately noticed right out of the gates. Is just the user friendliness, the lack of a need to visit Google to try to figure out how to go through some wild process. That's
Yeah.
just not something that's going to onboard people. So yeah, this is awesome. Let me ask you this question: do you guys have any plans to maybe tokenize Oblivion, or do you guys have any other plans? I know you had kind of mentioned gaming in a previous chat I had with you. Do you guys have any plans for any of that stuff?
You may
Okay,
have to
looks
say
like
that
we are
one
having
more
some
time.
connectivity.
There was a little bit of lag.
Yep. So as far as like tokenization of Oblivion, do you guys have any plans to do that, or do you
Ah,
guys have
for
any plans? I know you guys mentioned like you were looking to maybe create some sort of game or something like that
oh
associated to
yeah,
the marketplace.
yeah, that's a great question, and it's I'm trying to find the simplest way to answer it because it's actually a little more complex. So
Okay.
the team that created the marketplace, we actually had that other project I mentioned called Rug Zombie.
Okay.
And that project, essentially, if you've been rug pulled on the blockchain, you can trade those rug pulled tokens in for an NFT, and it's a zombie. It's just kind of a funny thing. But what we're doing with that is creating a card game, which is currently being worked on. And so we already have a token that our team is kind of working with. At the same time, we we have been thinking about kind of future ambitions, and so we don't have anything like set right now. We feel very strongly that if we were to create a token, like an ERC20, like a just a regular crypto token, that it would require us to have a robust utility purpose for that, and that it would
Hmm.
have to really pass the sniff test to me and to our devs for like we need this. A
Right.
lot of marketplaces and other projects will create tokens. What they're really trying to do is raise capital or raise money for their project through a token sale, and then claim that they have utility by offering some bell and whistle features. And we just don't want to do it that way. We'd rather have something fundamentally necessary for a token. That being said, we do have some long ranging plans related to some of the gaming. So the marketplace itself, the we've actually we branded it as Oblivion, but it's actually owned by the company that we all have together, which is a gaming company. And the marketplace is just one of the products that we've made. So
That's
um,
cool.
we probably will launch some sort of token related to the gaming company that will also have some benefits in the marketplace as well. So yeah, that's a whole can of worms, and we don't have to get into that one necessarily. But for we do have other ideas with our NFTs. So the collaboration that we're doing coming up to inaugurate the launch on the Nervos network. That's a that's going to be a fun one. And so we've got some of the utility you might ask for from a crypto token. We can just bake that into an NFT and call it a membership, and it works out.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, really. I like, definitely like what I'm seeing, stuff like that. How have the folks over at Nervos been to work with through all of this?
I cannot brag on their team enough. They are just incredible people. Some of the most professional in the space. Like there's two teams that I would say that have been so incredibly professional with us. The first one being Chainlink. They are amazing, like just great business development team. And then Nervos would be the second. So they're just
Wow.
highly responsive. They're really engaged. They're helpful. We have dedicated private chats on Discord where they're essentially our developer relations team, and they're trying to help us get everything taken care of as we need to. They're just they're really doing it right. So I have nothing but praise for the entire team.
Yeah, that's great. I've, been kind of covering Nervos now for about, I don't know, the last year and a half, and during that time, I've come to to know a lot of these developers and the team members within Nervos, and I get the same exact vibes. Some of the smartest people I've met, they're very dedicated to their work, things like that. So, what you just told me is no surprise.
Yeah, totally
Yeah,
unsolicited
great.
too. They didn't ask me to say this. They didn't put a threat in my inbox. Nothing like that. They deserve the praise.
Right, right. Well, I think that we'll kind of wrap this up. I do appreciate you coming on here and telling us about your wonderful marketplace and some of the endeavors you have, going on right now. And would love to have you back on the channel if you get
Yeah,
some more developing ideas or additions to
sure.
this marketplace or build out any other dApps on Nervos, whatever. We'd love to
Yeah.
have you back. Is there anything that you want to say to the people watching this video? And then feel free to plug your socials so we can get these people hooked up with you.
Yeah, it's really easy to follow us on Twitter, just at Oblivion NFT, and that's it. That's our easy tag. So go ahead and yeah, definitely give us a follow. The thing I would highlight is that we are launching a collaboration NFT with Mustard Phantom, who that's his persona name, obviously. He's an artist that already is active in the Nervous community. Everybody like loves his work. He works in comics in real life, and so he has some really cool stylistic things that he does. But we've launched a piece with him that's going to provide some 50% trading fee rebates for users on our marketplace. It also will function as a card in the upcoming game that we're building. So we built that in as well. So there's some utility included in the NFT, but more than that, it's just a way to support another artist on the Nervous network. So it's going to be really fun, and we're gonna once our marketplace goes live on Nervous, the mainnet tomorrow, we're going to pretty quickly deploy that NFT soon after that. So I would just say, come and check it out. Not going to recommend that you buy or don't buy. No financial advice here, but
Mhm.
definitely come and look at it at least. It's really cool, and we think we did a great job.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for that. We do appreciate your time once again. Thank you to everybody watching. If you guys have any questions, just drop them in the comments section. And then also hit up Oblivion on their Twitter handle. I will link everything in the description and comments so it's easy for you guys to access. We'll see you guys all on the next video.